And here we go. Ring the bell. It's showtime. Oh, fiddlesticks. Share sound. Let's try this again. You'd think I would have figured this out this far along. All right, ringing the bell. There we go. And today's invocation is one of our newest members, Miss Nicole Estrada. Would you like to share the invocation for today?
Yes, I'm pulling it up. So briefly, just a little prelude here. I had probably one of the worst weeks last week that I've had in several years. And I felt like the saying, when it rains, it pours, had never fit so perfectly. And to top it off, I fell 2 days ago. So I'm actually not gonna be able to stay on the call that long because I have a masseuse coming before my kids get back from a sitter. I slipped on my son's toy and it was like out of a movie. I flew in the air, my head hit our outside, the wall of our house, essentially. My back was all scraped up. So it was just one of those weeks where I really needed a lot of encouragement and support. I had planned on doing something centered around Father's Day, but I couldn't really find anything. So I found something that just kind of hit home to me. And so I hope it can resonate with some of you just during those times of uncertainty or those times where you just need a little bit of motivation. So this is from Mother Teresa. Bow your heads if you're so inclined. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. So it's very short and sweet, but that was okay for my first time. And
that was beautiful. Thank you. And I hope that your week improves. Certainly, the whole idea of Mercury retrograde can be amusing, but last week definitely seemed like there was a little something off overall, didn't it?
Yes, definitely. And the day that I fell was the 4-year anniversary of my mother passing away. So that was already a rough day. And so ending it that way was a little more challenging than I had anticipated, but I'm smiling today and I'll get a massage soon. So I'll get better from here.
Good. And I hope you enjoy that massage, and I hope everything gets better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. I feel better already.
Yeah, everyone's days be better. If you had a bad day yesterday, I guarantee mine was worse.
And I'm being honest.
Oh, Mike, that's my job, is to make people feel like that. All right, Amy, would you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, I will. Will everyone put their hand on their heart and begin? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so very much, Amy.
You're welcome.
So yesterday was Flag Day, and I hope you will enjoy this.
Everywhere you look across the land, you can see the flag is flying high. From north to south and from east to west, the colors of our flag remind us why our fathers fought and our fathers died to preserve our liberty. Well, it stands for freedom and it stands for pride. Our flag still flies high. The breath of freedom is awakening. in the hearts of people around the world. And people everywhere are crying out for liberty, their heads held high. Our flag shines out as a hopeful beacon. It's a light that's filled with pride. Across the oceans and across the land, let freedom ring. Our flag flies high. I was born in this land, a place where people can be free, free to follow their dreams and to live their lives with dignity. And this freedom that we share has a price that's hard to pay. But the price has been met, and our flag still flies high. Let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. And our flag still flies high. Still flies high.
So there we go. Whoop, and there we go again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Zoom meeting for the 15th of June, 2021. One more meeting to go for some of us. Actually, we'll still keep coming to the meetings, right?
Yes.
We have two guests that I'm aware of. Let me scroll here real quick, and so that I don't mispronounce the name, there's Mr. James Wright. Welcome, James. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here with all of you.
It's a pleasure to have you join us. And Mr. Scott Horst, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How you all doing?
If we were any better, it would be a Tuesday. All right. So are there any other guests that I'm not aware of, or any other visiting Rotarians that I haven't seen yet?
I think Kel is either she's
Kel
with
and
Sandy
the
or
guest. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hello, welcome, Kel.
Thank you.
There you are. Hi. Sorry. See,
Hello.
all you got is a tagline, and that's how I missed it. I apologize.
Not a problem at all.
All right. Well, Kel knows this routine, but for Scott and our God, I just lost your name. I'm sorry, Keith. No. Oh, sorry. I'm James. Scott and James. There we are. Hello. So we have a tradition to welcome our guests. Normally we would sing this for you, but we've discovered over Zoom that it's not as much fun. So our own Aussie serves this up for you.
Howdy, we're glad to have you here. Welcome, we sing it loud and clear. Relax, enjoy the program, and won't you come back to see us again?
Yay, we scared Scott away.
No, I'm back. Closing my door.
It's all good. I understand.
Are you allowed to eat lunch at these meetings?
You're encouraged to eat lunch at these meetings, but
Okay,
if you bring gum, you have to share it with us all. So our upcoming calendar, tomorrow, Haven House, and also on July 7th. Next week will be our last regular meeting for this Rotary year. We have Lori Filer coming to talk to us about Habitat for Humanity in San Diego. On the 29th is demotion. Save up all your tomatoes and fruit. It's going bad. You're going to want it. July 6th, we had the center was not prepared to reopen on the 6th, so we're going to be dark that day instead of trying to fake it. The 13th will be our first meeting of the next year, led by our wonderful next president, Mr. Vaughn North, and he'll be welcoming our district governor, Dan Gensler, that day. And then on the 20th, we'll have Escondido Police Chief Ed Varso. So, Jan, speaking of demotion.
Take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
Jan, you want to say anything about demotion? Is Jan here? Oh. Jan is working hard right now, I think. That's probably, yeah, she's not here, my bad. So if you haven't gotten the invitation to demotion, let either Ron Smith, Jan, or I know, we'll make sure you get an invitation. We'd love to see you there. It's definitely going to be fun. It's a New Year's Eve theme. So dress in the best style you got, which for me means flip-flops and shorts, but that's all good. Member moments, any member moments for this week? Righty, hearing none and seeing no one raise their hand, let's go on to In the Wild. And Christine is still with her parents this week, so I'll do this. Miss Rachel Ryder Currington had an amazing event this year. Evie's prom. So many of these kids didn't get proms last year, and it's great. Your daughter looks amazing and happy and wonderful, and we're so glad that she got to do this. Oop, here comes Myrna North. Oh, Mac for Escondido, our mayor, celebrated LGBTQ Pride Month and presented a proclamation. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Still wearing that tie, huh?
Still wearing the same tie, but you know that's actually handed out to you when you get sworn in. But without a tie, he actually went out and visited the Escondido Alley Art. I don't know if you've seen this post anywhere else. We just got a few of the pictures here, but there's some pretty cool pictures out there. Jackie, did you get any on the wall? Apparently not. All right. No, she's shaking her head. Sorry, I have to flip between screens to see everybody. I can't put everyone up there. Well, you deserve to be up there, but that's okay. I hope everything's well with you. Let's see. Vate Campbell also has kids in school that are celebrating getting back to normal. By the way, did you know today is the first day we are not under restriction? So her daughter is looking forward to the next school year when she can really have some fun performing. And her son graduated from finished 7th grade and is going to be on, got the principal's award for his grades, which is really incredible. Congratulations, Vate, that's really good stuff. Leela had her grandson, who's going to be a 1st grader next year and apparently likes plays, which is great. We like that, encourage that. Should try opera soon. Alicia Reeves, kiddo, this is so cute. 1st haircut, look at that. I wonder if I should get that style of haircut, but anyhow. And Aussie, you know, I have to admit, in this public forum, it's me that's stealing all your tomatoes. I've been sneaking into your greenhouse and stealing all those tomatoes, I swear. Kristen Bush is not impressed.
So
Oh,
is the
Myrna,
problem- is
Myrna.
the problem that it's really not a tomato plant, but maybe something else?
Yep,
What?
It could be, huh?
What?
it looked like it.
I'm just telling you, my salads are fantastic. So,
I'm happy. I'm very happy.
okay. Oh, Myrna North, how are you?
Good.
Whoa, echoes.
There's a
There we
lot.
go.
Okay.
Hey, Andy,
Yeah, Vaughn, you need to mute. Let's
Yeah.
see here.
can you mute me? I don't have control.
Oh, we're gonna be interesting here. Let's see. Let me find Vaughn real quick.
And that was polite. He said, can you mute instead of shut up?
Oh, Vaughn, you are muted. Okay, go ahead, Myrna.
All right.
Oh, okay, I'm missing one somewhere.
You know, it's because I'm recording.
Oh, okay. This will be interesting. Do you want me to just do this, Myrna? I'll do my best on this.
Okay.
So the Assistants League, you may have seen in this week's center view, and if you didn't, shame on you, because the center view is an amazing program. Thank you, Charito. Assistants League is looking for volunteers. And while you may think of mostly the Assistants League as being the thrift shop over here on East Valley, and how many wonderful ladies staff that shop, they are also looking for gentlemen as well. And they do lots of incredible programs to help reading with kids, and lots of other programs. Strongly encourage you to look up Assistants League Inland North County and see all the different programs they do. Then give them a shout, drop an email, see if you're interested in volunteering for them. They're a great program, and they're doing good work for us here in Escondido. Is that good, Myrna?
That was great. You can call Carol. Right.
Call Carol. Yes. All righty. And Ron Smith, it's your turn.
Thank you, Andy. A big thanks to the 65 or 70 of you that have paid your dues already. Much appreciate you getting on top of that. But that means we have about 40 that have yet to pay, and I hope you'll make that a priority soon. We really don't want to have to get to the end of the year.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ron, I accidentally muted you.
It was
there you go.
such a great speech too. So
I
I
know.
would say read the slide and help us out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. It's a lot of work you do, and I appreciate it. So we're on to the fun song already. And this week's fun song is from our own Jay Marley. And he's doing it to the tune of I Shot the Seraph, because he's a typist.
You've yet to get it ever right, but that's fine. Just mute everybody else and let me know.
All right, hang on. Let's see. All right, Jay, unmute yourself and you're good.
Here we go. If you want things done, then leave it to Vaughn. He'll make sure it comes out right. He's very precise and extremely nice, and for Rotary he will fight. Vaughn, you are the man to carry out this year's plan. There's a lot on your plate, but we know you'll create an event that will make our club grand. Ta-da!
Woo-hoo! Awesome. I'm so sad that I'm not going to be able to do this for another year. So Vaughn North, you're up. You're going to have to unmute. I can't do that. I cannot unmute you.
I'm unmuted.
All right. And oh God, who was introducing you? I apologize. I forget who was introducing you this week. Well, I'll introduce you then. Vaughn North is an amazing, amazing, amazing man. He's done amazing things in his life, from patent attorney to incredible Rotarian, taking care of his community, whether it was in Utah or here in Escondido. And Escondido Shines is a brilliant idea that we're going to see a lot more of in this year. And here's Vaughn to talk about what his year is going to look like.
All right. Well, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Good. Well, let me begin by thanking Andy and his board for a great year. Despite COVID problems, I'm grateful to have this same board with the addition of Robert Zuibla. We are very fortunate to have this group of professionals that are both experienced and dedicated to the club. I don't know how many really appreciate them as much as we should. As Andy mentioned, in view of this holiday weekend, we're going to be shifting to the 13th, and I'm informed that the chef will be providing a wonderful plated meal worthy of our return to the luncheon meeting. We have a special program organized with Dan Gensler, and that will be well worth everybody's efforts to be there. We'll have a normal setup, traditional meeting format, so don't expect any major changes this year, but do expect some tweaking here and there to increase greater involvement from all of our club members. As an example, I've invited 12 of our club members to form an Escondido Shines committee, which will focus on building relationships in the community, between our members, as well as relationships with other Rotarians in Escondido. This committee is Paul McNamara, Kristen Gaspar, Keith Rickenbacher, Randy Hall, Sandy McDougall, Dara Cherwanka, Doug Moyer, Linda Stanwood, Larry Troutner, Mark Burrows, Justin Gray, and the 78 Club president is willing to participate, Jess Remnitz. So each of these brings a special focus on the challenge of building relationships. Obviously, the board of directors will continue its great work of administering the numerous club activities. I'm really grateful to work with this powerful team of 24 leaders. Gee, I shouldn't have to do anything with all that leadership. To introduce this topic of relationships, I'm going to break all the rules, and I'm going to read a section of the book. It's called The Power of Habit. I apologize. It's going to take 7 minutes and 21 seconds. But I looked at it over and over again, and it's so powerful that I think this is going to be worth everybody's concentration. Do your best. I will do my best as well. Okay. On a blustery October day in 1987, a herd of prominent Wall Street investors and stock analysts gathered in the ballroom of a posh Manhattan hotel. They were there to meet the new CEO of Aluminum Company of America, Alcoa, as better known, a corporation that for nearly a century had manufactured everything from foil for Hershey's Kisses, the metal for Coke cans, and bolts to hold satellites together. Now, Alcoa's founder had invented the process for smelting aluminum a century earlier. Since that company had become one of the largest on Earth. Many of the people in the audience had invested millions of dollars in Alcoa stock and had enjoyed a steady stream of returns. But in the past year, investor grumblings started. Alcoa's management made a misstep, one after another, unwisely trying to expand new product lines while competitors stole customers and profits. So there had been a palatable sense of relief when the Alcoa board announced it was time for new leadership. That relief, though, turned to unease. When the choice was announced, the new CEO would be a former government bureaucrat named Paul O'Neill. Many on Wall Street had never heard him. When Alcoa scheduled this meet and greet at the Manhattan Ballroom, every major investor asked for an invitation. A few minutes before noon, O'Neill took the stage. He was 51 years old, trim, dressed in a gray pinstripe and a red flower tie. His hair was white and his posture military straight. He bounced up the stairs and smiled warmly. He looked dignified, solid and confident, like a chief executive. Then he opened his mouth. I want to talk to you about worker safety, he said. Every year, numerous Alcoa workers are injured so badly they miss a day of work. The audience was confused. This meeting was usually a predictable script. Now, before I go any further, O'Neill said, I want to point out the safety exits in this room. He gestured to the rear of the hall. There are a couple of doors at the back, and in an unlikely event of fire or other emergency, you should calmly walk out, go down the stairs to the lobby, and leave the building. Silence. The only noise was the hum of traffic outside the windows. Safety, fire exits. Was this a joke? One investor in the audience knew that O'Neill had been in Washington, D.C. during the 60s. Guy must have done drugs, he thought. Eventually, someone raised a hand and asked about inventories in the aerospace division. Another ask about the company's capital ratios. I'm not certain you heard me, O'Neill said. If you want to understand how Alcoa is doing, you need to look at our workplace safety figures. If we bring our injury rates down, it won't be because of cheerleading or the nonsense you sometimes hear from other CEOs. It will be because the individuals in this company have agreed to become part of something important. They've devoted themselves to creating a habit of excellence. Safety will be an indicator that we're making progress in changing our habits across the entire institution. That's how we should be judged. Well, the investors in the room almost stampeded out the doors when the presentation ended. One jogged to the lobby, found a payphone, and called his 20 largest clients. I said, the board has put a crazy hippie in charge and he's going to kill the company, that the investor told me. I ordered them to sell the stock immediately before everyone else in the room started calling their clients and telling them the same thing. It was literally the worst part of advice I had ever given in my career. Within a year of O'Neill's speech, Alcoa's profits would hit a record high. At the time, O'Neill retired in 2000, the company's annual net income was 5 times larger than before he arrived, and its margin capitalization had increased by $27 billion. Someone who had invested $1 million in Alcoa on the day O'Neill was hired would have made another $1 million just in dividends while he headed the company. What's more, all growth occurred while Alcoa became one of the safest companies in the world. So how did O'Neill make one of the largest, stodgiest, and most potentially dangerous companies into a profit machine and a bastion of safety? By attacking one habit and then watching the changes ripple through the organization. I knew I had to transform Alcoa, O'Neill told me, but you can't order people to change. That's not how the brain works. So I decided I was going to start by focusing on one thing. If I could start disrupting the habits around one thing, it would spread throughout the entire company. O'Neill believed that some habits have the power to start a chain reaction, changing other habits as they move through an organization. Some habits, in other words, matter more than others in making businesses and lives. These are keystone habits. Keystone habits can influence how people work, eat, play, live, spend, and communicate. Keystone habits start a process over time, transforming everything. Thank you for your patience. When I read this section of the book, I asked myself, what has been the impact on our club, having just come through over a year of pandemic, with all its restrictions, blocking us from relationships that virtually defined most of our lives in the past. Whether it was friends, church, club, businesses, or even family, we have all been denied what many individuals have declared with their dying breath was their element of living that they most treasured, or to the contrary, was their dominant regret in not having developed more, deeper relationships. So how many people have passed from this life with vast fortunes only to admit that they missed the boat, specifically the joy of meaningful relationships? Actually, many of you have asked me to share what was going to be the focus of this year's Rotary. I appreciate your interest, and maybe it was out of panic, I don't know. I thought long and hard about this question. I do suggest there is a keystone habit that's applicable to Rotary Club. That keystone habit is the process of building growing relationships. The goal of the Rotary Board and Escondido Shines Committee for me this year is to strengthen our relationships in 3 different areas: into the community, among Rotarians, and also internally in each of us as members. Let me just start with the community. Before the pandemic, our club had occasionally given leaders in the community a certificate of appreciation. Here's hold this with you, dear. Here's an example of what it looked like. Does that show? Oh, is that all right? One such event was in 2017. It was at the annual membership luncheon of Interfaith Services. Over 1,000 people were there. Greg Angel called me to come forward. I then invited 2 leaders from Interfaith, Reverend Meg Decker and Mary Farrow, to come up. I then presented each of them with one of these certificates of appreciation from Rotary and from Escondido Shines. Believe it or not, Mary Farrow actually started crying in front of 1,000 people. Mary has been a friend for many years. Her heart is like gold. No one has ever done something like this for me, she said. The reaction of the crowd was electric. What was the result for Rotary and Escondido Shines? It established in 5 minutes a relationship with over 1,000 members of Interfaith from all over North County. It was amazing. I then invited these ladies to our luncheon meeting and again rehearsed the same presentation, and they loved it. A similar certificate was given to the president of Kiwanis Club that year at their breakfast meeting. He was extremely grateful. Why do I bring all of this up? If we repeat this act dozens of times over the next year, consider the strength in relationships and reputation on behalf of Rotary and all these community servants and our non-Rotarian friends. We will inevitably welcome new members to our club. Some of these new members will likely follow the pattern of building relationships into their circles. Our membership will again increase, revenues will grow, new leaders will surface, and the community will see a shining Rotary Club well known throughout Escondido and North County. Consequently, I would like to renew this program of certificates of appreciation to be given to leaders in the community that Paul McNamara calls the unsung heroes. I've selected a first recipient for July 13th, which will be Suzanne Nicolaisen and the Escondido Arts Association. I just showed you her certificate. In addition, we will give each recipient a copy of the new Escondido history book. This is a jewel. $76 value, includes pictures of our mayor and other key people. And these have been donated to us for the purpose of giving as gifts to the celebrated honorees of our certificates of appreciation. My hope is that Rotary and Escondido Shines becomes known as the voice of appreciation in Escondido. I wish you could have heard Suzanne's excitement yesterday when I called her with this invitation. She was literally bubbling over with total surprise. She is so excited. And she's going to be sharing this news with her friends now and that day and probably days thereafter. If you can imagine the growth of our image and our relationship within the community as we provide these certificates and gifts, honorees will also be our guests at luncheon meetings, and we will represent there. We also have a photo library that's going to honor these guests. So now, what can you do to help? I invite personally each of you during the coming year to identify just one candidate. In 365 days, find somebody deserving of this honor, and then submit that name to the Escondido Shines Committee for consideration. If approved, you may choose to make the presentation yourself, both at their venue for their organization as well as our luncheon meeting. We have now extended our Rotary message into the community and into many other service organizations by doing this. I hope you can see the value and the potential of that. All right, jumping now to the second area of relationships, which is among ourselves. This is the fun part. This is the easy part. If we strengthen our relationship as club members, we will enjoy greater fruits of friendship, warmth, camaraderie, social expansion. Many of us have felt the sadness and emotional isolation of these COVID restrictions. It's time to heal. We can help each other by a generous sharing of friendship and warmth. Our meetings will become even more rewarding as we each help each other grow in Rotary. In short, we can have a heck of a lot of fun. In addition, our service activities in the community will become more meaningful because of our closer relationship. You know the impact when a powerful relationship is given as an example to those around us. Most people are saying, oh, what would I give to have that kind of a friend and that relationship? And how much fun? Seriously, what's the risk? What's the result of building tables? Thanks, Ron. Picking up trash on the freeway. Thanks, Larry. Helping kids at San Pasquale. Thanks, Keith. Perhaps our growing friendships will have the greatest long-term value of anything. All right, we're kind of wrapping up here. We have several activities to continue to build club relationships. One is the Member Spotlight program and a coordinated member feedback medium called Table Talk. These involve little table displays. These have 3x5 cards. They sit on a beautiful Rotary emblem that Joe Parrish is making at great trouble and expense on his ticket, by the way. And these cute little things will be on each table. There'll be a reminder. What can we do individually to build our club? Member spotlights are going to be conducted periodically, featuring one or more members on a screen during lunch. Randall is helping us out on this, as is Linda. Anyway, these members will want to participate, or those who do want to participate can review the interesting facts on screen during mealtime if they choose. We hope to make this a fun, interactive event, allowing the rest of the club members to compare their own life's experiences with the Spotlight member. In just one ideas to do this are part of this table talk concept and the feedback cards. You have an idea come up, you see something on the screen, he was graduated from some school. Oh, wait a minute, I was associated with school. I have this common interest. So on the card, the member just makes the little note. These are the common things I share with this member spotlight. Then we collect those, and at the end of the meeting, we give out food or prizes or something to the table or to the individuals who participate, something to make it fun, kind of like we did with Two Truths and a Lie. So the Escondido Shines Committee will be generating these and other fun ideas to share, and I hope that in the luncheon experience you have over the years, months to come, you will also submit anytime, any idea on these little table talk cards, and we will experiment with these concepts to see which ones will work the best. By the way, you can also share ideas on how to improve our meetings, speakers, or anything else, just on these little cards. Just stick them in a box when you leave. All right, so that brings me to the third dimension relating to ourselves. Just how important is it to like ourselves? The challenge to love your neighbor as yourself demonstrates the importance of the second part, having a strong self-image. If we don't love ourselves, it's going to be more difficult for others to love us and for us to love others. So the keystone habit of growing relationships has been identified. What can we do as a club to foster this constructive self-awareness, improving ourselves? Doug Moyer, what a guy. He is the program manager this year. He has been working hard for several months, scheduling speakers. We sat down and talked about this for time. He is right on track. He is suggesting that we have a variety of speakers that will build us as individuals, mentally, emotionally, physically, help us with finances, time management, local and current events. Even suggested that we might have some interesting, meaningful debates on opposite sides of issues that we would like to be more conversant in. And he's going to look at pulling those in. So if you want to talk to your friends about where to be at lunch on Tuesdays, hey, don't hesitate. Come to the show. Our speakers are going to build us in every which way. It's going to be great. And don't forget, you can always push your own speaker choice by writing one of these table cards down and handing it to Dr. Moyer. Okay, as a final note, we're about 3 minutes away from the end. So I haven't seen anybody fall asleep yet. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very rewarding. A final note, this is an interesting challenge. Roy Henderson and Colleen McKinnon, President-elect and Vice President, are working on 2 major events to support our efforts in building community relationships and Rotary relationships. Why do I put it that way? Well, as some of you have heard, Roy is working on his dream of a community event. And it's hopefully going to be an Oktoberfest for October 9th. Birthday of Escondido, when? The 8th. Oktoberfest on 9th is a big birthday party to be held at Grape Day Park. We are meeting tomorrow, Colleen and Roy and myself, with Alex McLaughlin, president of the Downtown Business Association. Some of you may not remember this, but Escondido Shines supported and sponsored the Tamale Festival's first year. And they were projecting about 6,000 to 8,000 people coming. We put their Tamale Festival on every one of our 20,000 Escondido Shines bags. They were passed out throughout the community and all over everywhere. And I like to feel like it was a joint effort, but their attendance was over 12,000. They ran out of tamales. He's hated me ever since. I don't know, but I think we've got a good partner in Alex McLaughlin, and he wants to encourage and help us do this Oktoberfest. He kept telling me, this is a no-brainer. You guys need to do this. He was going to do it. So he's been encouraging us to move forward. I hope it all works well. We've got some challenges ahead of us, and it's going to be an interesting organizational task. But it's such a fun concept to celebrate Escondido's birthday. We're going to make this a celebration of service. I've been robbed, literally, of my opportunity to help bring a celebration of service to the community because of COVID. I think you saw my claim to fame, the only president, vice president of a Rotary Club that got to have his whole event knocked out the day before after tons and tons of work and money raising, everything. Well, so the hope is to have our Oktoberfest be a community celebration of service. And at this point, we've tentatively identified the Public Works Department, who, when I told them this, they just couldn't believe it. They said, nobody gives us recognition. We are the unsung hero. And so we're going to make great friends with Public Works Department if we give them the honor in the community of a great service organization. Interfaith Services, another one. You can't give too much respect and credit to Greg and his team at Interfaith Services. And finally, Palomar Health Foundation. They were going to get the recognition last Coeur de Cuisine, very deserving to get it this time. Can you imagine if this goes well and we promote this well, how many people from Public Works, Interfaith Services, Palomar Health, the largest employer in the area, We might get a few of those people to come to the Oktoberfest to celebrate their companies and activities in service. We could even make this an annual event and literally have the Rotary Club be at the front line of giving service recognition to all of those who are doing great things, besides giving them a bunch of money every year. It's going to be a major opportunity to strengthen our relationships. We might even be able to invite Education Compact, which is the huge organization that supports our Hispanic neighbors doing so much. What a party this could be on birthday day or day after. Now, Colleen, as vice president, shocked me when she said, hey, if we have Oktoberfest, then we're going to have Kur, because I'm going to make it so. She said, we are approaching our 50th or 100th? 100th year anniversary. And she wants to make sure we have the continuing relationship as Rotarians in a Kur event. So don't get in her way, because she's committed. She's going to maintain this the Kur event as part of our culture. They will each be providing information to you during the coming year. I hope you can warm up your service shoes and feel like you can give a little extra this year to make up for last year's not. And boy, can we establish Rotary as the centerpiece of this community? Paul McNamara believes that it's rightfully so. We can become a shining star on the hill in this great state of California, or should be great state of California, by demonstrating how to come out of a pandemic on top. So, in summary, as we begin this year of activities and we continue our traditional culture, but with a focus on the 3 areas of relationship building as a keystone habit, and we'll talk more about what that really means, I invite each of you to consider the benefit you might receive by actively participating and with excitement. I'm going to read in closing O'Neill's comment in this book, but I'm going to change Alcoa to Rotary. This is what he said, substituting the appropriate words. One way our club can reach its potential, quote, will be because the individuals of this company or a club have agreed to become part of something important. They've devoted themselves to creating a habit of excellence. Relationships and their development will be an indicator that we are making progress in changing our habits across the entire institution. That's how we should be judged. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaughn. Very good. Very exciting. I'm excited for this upcoming year. This will be good. And I am glad that you're at the helm, because your energy is unmatched. So we're here behind you the entire way.
Best words I could have heard.
Well, you know, I try once in a while. Does anyone have any thoughts, questions, or comments for Vaughn? Let's see. No, I don't see anyone. All right. Well, then
I think I
in
wore
that
them
case,
all out, Andy.
no, I think you just covered everything in such detail that there's no questions left. But I think we all know what our roles are going to be, and I think we all are anticipating and looking forward to the opportunity to help you and help ourselves.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, Dara, go ahead.
Hi, just like a logistics question. Do we have any clarification on our Zoom capabilities beginning in July? If Zoom is still available, or if we're all in person, or?
From my perspective, Zoom is absolutely available. It's a subscription that we have, and I will maintain it as long as we need it. The challenge is technical. We will have to, we probably will need a small mixing board so that we can feed the microphone to the center as well as to the recording. And it will still be somewhat difficult because we'll need at least two. We'll need a tablet and a computer at the front where the slideshow is going. So there's I'm sorry, I won't get into the details. There are technical issues. It's just a matter of logistics. I won't promise you that it'll be the first meeting, but I think if Vaughn is interested and wants to pursue it, and whoever is going to be running the programs, absolutely, we will make sure that it continues. I think there's for those strange people who live out in the desert instead of here in the city. Oh, there you are. Sorry about that, Amy. I think Zoom is a brilliant way to stay connected. But there are technical challenges that we'll have to, they're doable, but some of it may be, we may have to ask for a soundboard or something, a small soundboard or something, or we'll see what happens.
We also need to deal with the cost of lunches, because when we have a lunch prepared, we get to pay $20 for that lunch. So if people decide, well, it'd be easier for me today to just go through a Zoom meeting. So there's a huge amount of responsibility that is involved in running dual activities. They just require discipline. So everybody's got to be willing to if they're going to have a lunch, they need to be there and pay for it.
And then just one follow-up question, sorry. Will we continue to have the availability of speakers to Zoom in to do their presentation, or are they all required to be live now on site?
That's an excellent question. I'll defer to Dr. Moyer. My feeling is I feel the difficulty as it is on a Zoom meeting, to convey the full meaning of what I'm trying to get across. I think a Zoom tool is an impressive tool, but it's not a match for having somebody animated in front of you, being part of your life for a few minutes, experiencing Rotary. There are so many advantages to the power of in-person presentation that we probably will want to defer to those who can make it and be at the meeting. It's not an issue of liking or not liking someone, but if you choose good, better, or best, you put the Zoom meeting either at the good or the better. I'll put the in-person meeting at the best. And so we should try to defer in favor of that. That's my opinion. I'm not even in position yet, so it doesn't mean that much right now.
We can give the speaker some space too, if they're concerned about being too close to other people.
Yeah.
Just a comment for Roxanne and Kristen. I think you guys came in a little later. We will not have a meeting on July 6th. The center could not provide an executive chef to do the meal. So our first regular meeting at the center will be July 13th.
And it's going to be great. So look forward to it.
The demotion will still go on the 29th of June.
Yes.
And that's inside the Center for the Arts in our special spot.
Yes.
So that's going to be a fun kickoff.
And for me, my message to the demotion committee, I do hope you've gotten enough plastic sheeting for all of the rotten fruit and tomatoes that are going to be thrown. So I hope that's part of the planning process. I cannot wait to meet our new members in person, Kristen and Roxanne. I'm looking forward to meeting you. James, if you're joining us then, I hope you'll get to meet you. And Scott, who knows, you could always join us too if you're interested. So that's going to be so much, it's going to be so wonderful, Vaughn, honestly, just between you and me to actually meet these people. I mean, if I finally meet you again after a year.
Well, kudos to you for all you've done. That's all I can say.
Well, it's all good. Thank you very much. So with all of that, let's go ahead and formally ring out today's meeting. Come on, where are you? There you are. So our shower thought for today: if everyone you meet is a friendly and nice person, it's probably because you are. So. And that's our formal meeting for today. I'll leave this open for a short while. You guys have a great week. Enjoy Father's Day if you're a father. Enjoy Father's Day if you're a mother. And I hope you all just have an amazing week. Thank you very much.